Tustin, Twitter.com. Right now, Angels baseball. Mike Trout hits a grand slam in the bottom of the sixth inning. Angels lead 8-2, and I have a couple of questions right now I want to do for Angels talk. Angels baseball. Tustin, Twitter.com. First of all, Mike Trout's baseball is just absolutely unbelievable. He hit that home run. It was like nothing out there in right field. And I've been listening to the game on the radio the whole day pretty much and going to watch it on the TV at the OG's at Orange here at the mall. And Mike Trout just with that grand slam. It's his second home run this season, or in that game, his 31st for this season. And we're watching the best Angels baseball of all time. I believe the last 5 or 6 weeks up till a couple of games ago, but good game right now. Mike Trout with the grand slam. The Angels up 8-2 in the seventh inning versus the Texas Rangers. And the next topic I'd like to go into, since that was the topic last night on Angels Talk, is the trade deadline and who the Angels ought to look at, consider to come join the Angels and make a move for the new general manager. And last night, the forum seemed that Angels Talk, Terry Smith was allowing callers and people to give their players and opinions. A lot of the callers continue to talk about the same players. One of the callers mentioned last night on Saturday night how he didn't think a National League move or trade would be good for the Angels. And this is for take two on the topic right now, Tustin, Twitter.com. I disagree. I think National League players would fit in very well with the Angels. First of all, I think the Angels need pitching, and now that they've already talked to the White Sox and received a player from Chicago, my first question for Terry Smith is, with the acquirement of Gillespie, did the Angels and White Sox management were able to talk about other players on the White Sox, such as Chris Sale, a player I would like to see on the Angels, not just for this season, but down the line. Now, going to the National League, which I believe 3 teams are sellers. And this morning at McDonald's, while I was having my coffee here, actually right across from the OGs, where I watched Mike Trout hit that grand slam, 3 teams in the National League, I believe, are sellers. And I'm going to talk about the players that I think the Angels can at least talk to, make a move, and consider joining their team if the money is right and the contracts are right. The sellers are first the Atlanta Braves, the Miami Marlins, and the Colorado Rockies. Let's go to the Braves first, where I like infielder Andrelta Simmons. He's a 260 batting average this season, a career 253. Right now he hits 3 home runs with 30 RBIs. Cameron Maybin as an outfielder, he hits for power. He's 8 home runs with a 280 average. And if you don't get Cameron Maybin, maybe look at Nick Markakis. Although only hitting 1 home run, he does hit for average. But Cameron Maybin with Mike Trout and Cole Calhoun, Mike Trout in center field and Cameron Maybin, that'd be a very good and fast outfield. I would like to see outfielder Cameron Maybin at least be considered by the Angels. And then catcher, 36-year-old, I'm sure Angel fans have heard this name before, A.J. Przinsky. Right now he's hitting 286 with 6 home runs and 30 RBIs, a lot more production than Chris Iannetta. And the players that I would consider maybe moving to the Braves, I don't like talking about players to move, but you're going to have to give up something to get something. Some players, maybe Chris Iannetta, David Freese, C.J. Cron, and maybe a good pitcher. We can talk about players after. That's going to be up to the GM, what players he thinks to make trades. But to the next team, I want to talk to you about the Miami Marlins. Miami has a lot of good players, starting with Giancarlo Stanton. Right now he's on the 15 DL disabled list, but he's hitting a very solid 27 home runs, 265 batting average, 67 home runs. You'd have to give a lot to get him, but I believe that Artie can swing a deal to get Giancarlo Stanton. Also, the catcher, JT Realmuto, a 256 batting average with 5 home runs and 27 RBIs. Derek Dietrich, he's hitting 303. He's 26 years old. I believe he plays third base. And then a pitcher who the Angels I really think ought to look at is Matt Latos. The pitcher today is playing versus the San Diego Padres in that baseball game. A West Coast pitcher, Matt Latos, Matlatos. Now to the Colorado Rockies, the next team I believe is a seller. There's a lot of good players, starting with, of course, Troy Tulowitzki. If you can get him, he is, I think next year his contract, they're going to be talking about that. You can maybe rent him the rest of the season, make a deal, and then sign a contract for next season. But you will have to give up an all-star player to acquire Troy Tulowitzki. Also, Carlos Gonzalez, the right fielder, he's 29 years old. He has 16 home runs with 41 RBIs, 264 batting average. Troy Tulowitzki is a 299, 300 batting average. Right now hitting 305 with 12 home runs, 52 RBIs. And another player I'd like to talk about or look at is Nick Hundley. And another player from the Colorado Rockies, Brandon Barnes. He's from Orange. He has a 246 batting average, a career with 18 career home runs. He's not the big name that I mentioned from the other players, but all good names. Those are just from 3 teams that I was looking at today. James Cal Tustin, Twitter.com. We're talking about the trade deadline, and I believe the Atlanta Braves, Miami Marlins, and Colorado Rockies are all sellers. And I like to see infielders Simmons, outfielders Maben, catcher Przinsky from the Braves be considered from the Atlanta Braves. And then from Miami, Stanton, Latos, Dietrich, and Real Munto, the catcher there. And then from the Rockies, Tulowitzki, Hudley, Gonzalez, and Brandon Barnes. Brandon Barnes is from Orange, and he's not the big name that the other players are. But I mentioned 3 and 4 each to make a deal. And I believe if you were to throw in 2 or 3 players and a minor league player, as you can see yesterday, Cueto went from the Reds to the Royals, and the Royals do mean business by picking up an all-star caliber pitcher. I believe the Angels at least should look at Matt Latos from the Miami Marlins, and then from the Atlanta Braves, even consider A.J. Przinsky. He is 36 years old. However, he's giving a lot more production than Chris Ionetta, and also Cameron Maben with that speed and power. James Cal Tustin, Twitter.com. Thanks.